jokes. Man, listen, I was in food service and I was working the line, where you put like food on the trays and push it down the line. And I was a runner because at the line you got different spots where people put food on the trays. Everyone's putting different food on the tray, and at the end, you got like stacks of trays, whatever. So I'm bringing these stacks of trays over. Excuse me, I'm also bringing these empty pans and these empty pans of food because we were done serving chow and we're cleaning up the line. And I was bringing these empty pans that used to have food in it to the pot man. So as I'm bringing it to the pot man, there's this young kid. He's probably like, maybe I'm like 20 at this time. He's probably my age, 20, 21. Maybe he's a little older than me. He's about 24, 25. And I knew he was a bug. He just came in the dorm, just got out of confinement. So I didn't know him like that. I just came from the main unit to the annex. I got into a fight on the rec yard, so they let me out of confinement. And instead of sending me back to the hill, they kept me at the annex. And apparently this guy was here before. People knew him. He had a reputation. I didn't know who he was, so I didn't know his backstory. But I knew he was a bug. You could just tell he was kind of weird, kind of standoffish. You know what I mean? It's kind of like bugged out. So he's over there, like washing the pots and all that. And I come over to bring him these empty pans, to wash and everything. And as I walk up to him to hand him these pans, he's washing a pot or a pan with like a little scrub pad, but he's using it like a skateboard. He's like, yeah, backside board slide, skirt, skirt, like straight imagination, fantasy zone. So I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, nothing. Just think about the X Games, straight bug, So me being in Christ and, of course, I'm still a goofball. I'm still crazy. I'm just trying to build with everybody, minister with everybody. But plus, too, because I'm weird, I'm crazy, too, I honestly kind of think it's funny. So I start talking to him, and he tells me his name is Bike Mike. And immediately he shows me like a pick and poke tattoo on his forearm. No cap, like the worst stick figure you could possibly think of that someone would even call a tattoo that he probably did by himself, like in the county jail or in confinement with like a little staple and some type of ink. And there's a stick figure riding a bike and it says Bike Mike. And he's like all serious, like they call me Bike Mike, and bam, show me his tattoo. So I'm interested. And when I was younger, when I was in prison, man, I used to clown so much. Of course, like I was still in Christ, I was young in the faith, but man, I used to clown. And I used to always just like find ways to entertain myself. So him being a bug, being crazy, and this is wrong on me, of course, looking back now, I see. But in my mind, I'm just like already laughing in my head how I can just like get entertainment out of this dude. So I start asking him questions, where is he from and all this stuff. And immediately I can just tell he's one of those compulsive liars. And he's telling me these crazy stories. I forget like what the beginning story he was telling me was, but I remember the stories I began to give back at him. Because I could tell he was a compulsive liar. And he's talking about like sports and, mainly like BMX and skateboarding and all that. So then I began to tell him lies about me being in the X Games. I'm just feeding him back lies just because I think it's funny. And he's like really acting like he's believing my lies. Long story short, the whole point that I'm getting at is Bike Mike was a compulsive liar to the maximum. And the sad part about it, man, Bike Mike was just a young kid who was a junkie, caught like, immersed heavily in drug addiction, in and out of prison. I think he was already in prison like a second time, maybe third time at like 23, 24. And he wasn't the sharpest tool in the toolbox. You know what I mean? Definitely wasn't like handicapped, but he had, great potential. But he was just kind of slow. And he wouldn't even lie to like finesse people or to like get over on people or to like try to get food or dope. I'm sure probably dope, yeah. But he would just lie just because he was a liar. And it's funny too because my homie actually called him out one day because he used to always lie to everybody and tell all these crazy stories. But apparently, I guess one of the lies that he was saying, he's like, he would read these books, like these novels, and he would take these stories that he would read from these books and he would like interject them into his life. He would tell stories. I think I remember one day my dog like calling him out on it. He said, man, Bike Mike, shut up, man. Shut the heck up, bro. Like, stop lying. I literally just read that same book book you're reading right now last week, bro. What you just said, like he just like completely called him out. You know, so whole point that I'm getting at, man, is there are a million Bike Mikes in the chain gang. But Bike Mike is an innocent liar. You know what I mean? He ain't trying to finesse people, maybe with like a little bit of dope here and there, but he's just crazy and he's a liar. Be all you can be. Prison lies. But the real principle that I'm trying to